Welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth, where we cut the BS and give you the truth all about sports. Once again, I am Bryce Oden, host with Bryce Davis.
What's good?
So Game 3 just concluded between the Knicks and the Celtics. The Celtics won.
Stomped the mud hole in them.
Stomped the mud hole in them. They finally finished the job.
Yeah.
They went up and didn't let off the gas. They won on the Knicks' home floor in Madison Square Garden. So now the Knicks have a 2-1 series lead.
Yep.
This has probably been the much talked about series, the much ballyhooed series. Primarily just because no one expected the Celtics to be down 2-0.
2-0, and especially how they're going down, too. That's the other part.
And losing 2 on their home floor.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway so far from this series?
It's just I don't know how to explain like what's going on with this year in the finals, but scoring is at a premium this year.
I mean playoffs.
Or playoffs. Yeah, playoffs. My bad. Yeah, playoffs. But scoring is at a premium this year. You gotta score. You gotta hit your shots. Like every possession matters, and it hasn't felt like that in a while. Where it's like all of a sudden, like I said, Celtics up in both games, and because they just can't continuously get their offense or keep their offense going, if you're not hitting your shots, they're coming back and you're losing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's been a theme throughout this entire playoff so far. You got to make sure you're scoring.
Well, that's kind of been a microcosm of this era of basketball, right? Which is we kind of known this for a while, which is no lead is safe.
Yeah.
You know, we've known that for a couple of years, that just because you get up 20-something, especially in 9 fourth quarter minutes, that, you know, a team can come back and knock you down, especially, you know, with teams shooting 3 points at a higher clip.
Yep.
We can kind of catch you at a you know, quicker than usual, say 10 plus, 15 plus years ago. I think my biggest takeaway from this series is, and I thought about this when it comes to the Celtics. This Celtics team, or this era of the Celtics, reminds me of the Greg Popovich, Tim Duncan Spurs. There was a reason why the Spurs never repeated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And to me, the reason was, while they had Hall of Famers and a Hall of Fame coach and good teams, they had shown prior to that, especially prior to winning in 2003, when they was getting swept by the Lakers and all that, they had shown a propensity to not have a definitive person to close the game.
Yep.
They showed a propensity to have bad late game execution. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, they had moments. I remember in the 2006 World Cup Finals, you know, we Ginobili fouled Dirk and all that kind of stuff. Like, they had moments of just like, what the hell is going on here? Didn't you guys win before? Like, why y'all acting like a team never won before? This is what this Celtics team reminds me of. They don't give me, we're going to just go on a run here and just win multiple titles.
This isn't like the Detroit win by committee type, like where it's like, I feel like it makes sense for y'all. Where in the Spurs, it's like, no, y'all need a him.
Mm. Well, maybe I said it wrong.
Okay.
What I mean is, there's a reason why they're down 0-2.
Right.
This team, while they're good, just like those Spurs team were talented. Again, multiple Hall of Famers, multiple championships. Yep. But there's a reason why they didn't repeat, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, repeat.
This Celtics team, to me, there appears to be multiple guys who, if as long as they continue to trajectory on, are going to be in the Hall of Fame, right? They don't strike me as a team that's going to just go on a multiple championship run.
Yeah.
They appear to be more of like the Spurs, which is, depending on the year, depending on the matchup. Some years we'll break through and win it all.
Yep.
And some years we'll get knocked out in the second round or third of the conference finals on some fugaziness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We have that in our blood.
Yeah.
They don't strike me as, you know, the Shaq Kobe Lakers,
right,
or the Jordan Bulls, or they strike me as a team who, some years they'll be up,
other years
they'll just get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it'll be and we'll all be like, huh? And then next year they win it all, and be like, oh, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this team reminds me. I just think that they're too talented to just fade away.
Right.
But I don't see them.
Yeah, there's no, like you said, there's no back-to-back championships in this group.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I got you.
They don't. It doesn't feel inevitable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They can be had.
Yeah.
Right. Like the teams that, to me, the only team who won back-to-back, they're kind of like, oh, damn, okay, I can't believe I did that. It was probably like the 95 Rockets.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh,
damn.
Yeah,
because they won it that first year. That second year, it was not the same.
No, they're still the lowest seed to ever won a championship. Yeah. They won a 6 seed. Mind you, they did have Drexler, who got traded there. But
But
still,
still, like that season, you didn't expect that out of them.
yeah, you did not expect it out of them. Other than that, every other team that kind of repeated, you like okay, even the old the 2010 Lakers,
Yeah.
right? Like you like okay, like
I see it.
You know
I
what I'm
see
saying?
it,
I can
yeah.
see them, you know, but this team, I just don't get that energy. And I said it once, I said it again. I like teams who have a definitive go-to guy at the end.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
And the Celtics, they're not that. They have a lot of talented players.
Yeah.
So I think because sometimes you can have too much talent.
Right.
And when we have too much talent, unless you're just beating the brakes off a team, when it comes to those the uber talented teams, they struggle in late game situations because they don't. Maybe you can take it. Well, I can take it. Then who gonna take it?
Right.
What's our definition of a good look, of a good shot?
Who's because that's what helped. That's technically you could make the argument that was what Kawhi did for them. Was it 20
Who?
for the Spurs?
We're talking about when?
I'm trying to think.
Because they beat the brecks off the Heat. They didn't need.
True.
They didn't need.
That's
it.
true. That's true.
You mean the Raptors?
Yeah, the Raptors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think you make an argument that was a talented team, but Kawhi was the guy.
Yeah,
he was
for
your
sure.
closer.
Right.
When you needed it, when you needed the shot against Philly, it was him.
Yes. I think. Also think that when you live by the three, you die by the three.
Of course,
right? Live
100%.
Shaq West, die Shaq West. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how they've played.
Yep.
They play like this all year. And part of me, because Joe Mazzulla came out and, talking about this is our style, we're not going to change anything. And part of me, I saw people getting kind of up in arms about that, but that's kind of how it's always been with coaches, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to make any drastic switch up now.
I think, to me, I've seen the extreme happen on both ends. I've seen what happens when a coach just says, to hell with it, we're going to live and die with our method. I think about the 93 Suns, and they're say we don't care, we're going to guard MJ the way we think is going to guard him. It's like, all right, he going to have the highest scoring average in the history of the NBA Finals. They said, okay. Jerry Sloan, hey, man, we just going to do the Stockton Malone shit. We're not going to change nothing up. All right, okay, you think that's going to work? Cool. I also seen it happens. The extreme opposite happens.
Right.
When a coach says, we're going to throw everything out the window.
Yeah.
Fuck what got us here. Screw what got us here. We're going to change every single thing up. And I think that happened with the 10 or 11 Orlando Magic. They changed, because JJ Redick talked about this, where what they got to the Eastern Conference Finals, 2010. It was 2010.
Yeah, against the Lakers.
No. Against the Celtics. Because what got them there? Because I think going into that conference finals, they hadn't lost a game.
No, they hadn't.
And then all of a sudden, according to JJ Redick, and I think Matt Barnes talked about this as well, they changed everything.
Yeah,
they just changed everything. So you kind of need
consistency.
You want to have a foundation of how you play basketball.
Yeah.
But you also need to have a high IQ and flexibility to switch on the fly.
Right.
Like, hey man, this ain't working.
True.
We got to do this game. Nobody's saying the series, just this game. Maybe we do this little tweak. Maybe we just do this little change. Yeah. And I think that, to me, that's what separates, to me, the dynasties, like the guys who go on the back to back to back. Because when you go back to back to back, you got to change. You got to be flexible.
There are nuances in each game that are a little bit different.
Right, like the way the Bulls approach the Lakers, the way they approach the Blazers, the way they approach the Suns, the way they approach the Sonics, the way they approach the Jazz is different.
It's different. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because each team they were all different.
The matchups were a little bit different.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Right.
You know what? They got a guy that can kind of match one of our guys on the starting five or on our bench. So maybe we don't give him those minutes this time around.
Right. So to me, the great teams kind of figure out a way to kind of like mosey it up, switch it up. That's what made the Warriors so good.
Yeah.
They played one style with Steph, Klay Thompson, and then with KD, they switched it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Post KD, switch it up again.
Yeah. So to me, like, that's the difference between the greatness and all that kind of stuff. So I understand that they did miss a lot of shots.
Yeah.
And a lot of the looks were good.
Yeah.
They weren't missing contested, like Kobe Bryant falling out of bounds behind the backboard three.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were missing in the offense. Wide open,
Yep.
They were just clanking wide open shots.
Yeah, building houses out there.
Yeah. Lucky for them today, they were able to knock him down. Shout out to Peyton Pritchard, who validated that.
6 Man of the Year.
And again, another reason that separates teams that win titles against teams that don't win titles, right? Peyton Pritchard, 6 Man of the Year, champion last year.
Yep.
You know what? I've been here before too.
Yeah.
I've been here before too. I've been on the big stage with y'all too. I ain't know Ricky to this.
I was out there on our last tournament run, draining threes.
Right. So
I gotta
step
perform.
up.
Yeah, I gotta perform. Yeah.
But some guys when they've been there before, we think about a guy like an Austin Reeves, who we need you to kind of elevate and rise your game to help LeBron and Luka. Ain't been there before.
Yep.
I don't know how to do this. It's too much for me. I'm a fold. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, think about, and we talk about the next year. We talk about think about a guy like Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
Been here before, done it before. I can step up too.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. You know what I'm saying? And I think seeing Peyton Pritchard step up today, they have pretty much balanced across the board.
Yeah.
They walked into Madison Square Garden. They knew what was at stake, and they took care of business.
100%.
Moving on to thoughts on this before we move on?
No, I think.
What do you think? What's your prediction for Game 4?
My prediction, Game 4, I think is going to be a 2-point win for the Celtics. I think it's going to be a fight.
Okay.
It's going to be a fight, but I think the Celtics pull it out.
Gotcha. Switching over to the Nuggets and the Thunder.
Yeah.
Up in interesting series. Game 1 close. Game 2 blowout.
Yeah.
Game 3 overtime.
Yeah.
Overtime win for the Nuggets. So the Nuggets are up 2-1 against the Thunder, against the 1-seeded Thunder. A matchup between the presumably 1 and 2 guy in MVP voting. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
What?
But yeah, 2 MVP candidates going up against each other.
Mm-hmm.
One is definitely outperforming the other. And he's proven why, once again, like he's the best player in the NBA. I don't think, and I think this is what's going to hurt the Thunder is that they don't have they don't have an answer for him. Unfortunately, they really don't have a great answer for all of the things that Jokic can do.
I thought about this. I was talking to a couple of guys about this. Some of the teams in the Western Conference, and maybe the East too, depending on how good your team is.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to go back to bringing some of those guys back in the NBA whose job was to just be big and collect 5 fouls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to have to bring back some of those. Like
your job is out here to just slow them down.
Yeah, I call it you have a contract because Shaq's in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
your job to get beat up
right.
and hopefully,
you got
Yeah, hopefully he'll get a rhythm.
Right, like that's your job. With Jokic, we're going to have to bring some of those dudes back into the league. But let's talk about specifically the last game because I got a lot of thoughts on the last game.
Okay, yeah.
One is Shai has to get going.
He does.
Yes, I understand that you are probably on the most talented team from starting unit to the bench, probably that's left in the playoffs, right? It's a lot of teams that got nice rotation, like the Pacers rotation.
Yeah, they have the best.
But to me, I just like everybody, right? Yeah. Even like I said, obviously we got Williams, Shai, Chet, Dort, Caruso, Kaysen, Wiggins. Yeah. I like all these dudes.
All of them. Yeah.
I like all of them. Hartenstein.
Yeah, Hartenstein. Yeah.
But you're the guy.
Yeah.
You can't keep having these games, bro.
No, we need you to go off.
Off. If he plays bad, they're going home.
Yeah.
They're going home. You are not beating a veteran, championship tested, with the best player on his team, Jokic. You are not winning this series playing the way he's playing.
No.
Point blank, period. I don't care how well Chet plays. I don't care how well the rest of these teams, they don't got to go against Jokic.
No.
It sucks. It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah.
He's the Joker for a reason.
Yep.
You happen to draw him.
Yep.
I know it's not fair. I know you'd rather play the Warriors
or Minnesota,
where Steph's out and Jimmy Butler's playing on half an ass cheat. You know what I'm saying? And I know you rather play against the Wolves where Anthony Edwards still hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But you didn't. You drew the 3-time MVP, possibly 4, or possibly 1.
Yeah,
because you in there too.
You there? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't.
I mean, this shows why if Jokic wins the MVP, this series will show why he outplayed you.
Yeah. And to be fair, I want this very clear. I expect Jokic to outplay every single player.
100%. 100%.
But it can't be the discrepancy. Because don't get me wrong. We're talking about game 3. Jokic did not play a well game 3.
No, he didn't.
Let's get that first because he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Yeah.
Like if I got to a point where I'm like, if I'm the Thunder, he can have that.
Yeah.
That's how that's how bad he was missing shots. Yeah. But overall, I don't expect him to play at as bad as he was playing.
No.
But Chet did have it going. But there was some other stuff I didn't like. I like the fact that Shai was starting to force some shots.
Yep.
I like the fact that they took, I believe it was Wiggins, who I feel like played well in the first half and then get like no run in the second half. They just my phone. That just bothered me. And then the game goes to overtime because Aaron Gordon does what Aaron Gordon does, which turns into the second coming of Robert Horry and his clutch jump shots. And then in overtime, so let me get this straight. So to start overtime, the Nuggets, everybody chipping in.
Yep.
Murray scoring,
Yep.
Gordon scoring, Michael Porter Jr., who sometimes I think people forget is 6'10".
Yeah.
You know, he finally showed up because I know his shoulder been killing him. You telling me not once, not twice, but 3 times the best shot we can get was an Isaiah Hartenstein push shot?
Yeah.
3 times. I saw that. I
yeah.
said, ain't no way. That's 3 possessions we just went 3 possessions going, hey, that's the best look we can get. He missed it all game.
Yeah.
That little, whatever the hell that little push shot his daddy taught him.
Non-floater thing.
Yeah, whatever he said his daddy taught him. Shout out to his dad. Apparently played at Oregon with Fred Jones and Luke Rittenauer. It wasn't going in. And overtime, that's the shot we get?
That's the shot. That's
Get the fuck out
that's
of here,
whose
bro.
number we're calling? Nah.
Like, yeah, you deserve to hang your head low and walk out of Denver with a loss.
You didn't have your best strategy out there in overtime.
Yeah, Aaron. I was right. Aaron Wiggins. I was right. Yeah, he got like no cock in the second half, bro. Shit bothered me, dog. Because I thought he played really well in the first half, but like that overtime was just and they kept talking about this on the broadcast. Experience.
Yeah. I remember people were talking about that experience thing. Blah blah blah. It doesn't like it does when you're playing a champion though. Mm-hmm. When you're playing a championship who's not far removed from the championship either. They remember I remember games like this where we had to dig deep. Everybody had to contribute. Their exit, you said Aaron Gordon used to it. Michael Porter Jr. used to it. The only person who's not is like Brown.
He was there.
Oh, he was on the
yes,
roster?
he was a rookie.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So everybody.
Only one who's probably not is Peyton Watson.
That's right, Peyton Watson.
Yeah. Because even Russ technically has been to the finals.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, like you're just not gonna get away with the stuff like that, man. And
yeah, everybody for Oklahoma, and especially Shea. It's you first, then everybody else.
And the thing about Denver is Denver to me is in a similar mind frame as the Knicks, which is if we keep it close to a fold.
Yep.
Which means that if you're Oklahoma City, you gotta punch them in the mouth.
Yeah, early. We need to go up by. We need to be up by almost 30 into the half.
I would say 20.
Yeah, 20.
Because I think I like Oklahoma's ability to defend and keep Denver at bay as opposed to the Knicks, who I feel like will just they somehow the ability to kind of
chip it away.
Yeah, I think Denver will just once your lead is your lead, you get to just keep it.
Yeah.
But I just think that to me, they just have to punch them early and often, and this they got to be more consistent. Yeah. I don't know, man. They and also another thing that bothered me with the coaching. Our offense is struggling late in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Why the hell do we have a lineup out there with 3 dudes who are, let's just say, offensively challenged?
Yeah.
Hartenstein, Dort, and Caruso?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah,
nah, bro.
Bring
dog.
the scorers in.
Nah, bro. Nah. We deep for a reason.
Yeah.
Take sub. You can't have 3 dudes out there.
No, one of them can stay. Maybe.
Yeah. You can't have 3 dudes out there, bro. You can't. Yeah, you can't have. They the equivalent of you ever look up at a high building and see gargoyles on top?
Yeah.
That's what those niggas are. Three gargoyles.
Offensively, yeah.
Just there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got go around them. You can't move them. You know what I'm saying?
That's not why we got Caruso.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting them to shoot out the lights.
I know. So to
defend, do your job.
So to me, I saw that bothered me when I saw that out. I was like, yo, your offense is struggling right now.
Get the buckets in. Get the bucket getters in.
Yeah, get the guys who can help space the floor a little bit better, who actually can put some pressure on them. I thought Chet played a really solid game. I thought he played a really, really good game. In fact, I wish I would have went to him actually a little bit more, down the stretch. Especially those Hardenstein shots could have been
Chet shots, 100%.
I
give
take
it to
those.
Chet.
Those felt like empty calorie plays, because obviously if you're Denver, he can have that.
Yeah,
he can have that, man. But going to Game 4 now, at this point, this is a must-win.
It's a must-win. Yeah.
For
if Oklahoma City, it's got to go 7 for Oklahoma City to win it. That's what I believe. Mm-hmm. It's gonna go 7, and then in that case, maybe their youth helps them out a little bit more to overcome just because that's a little bit older roster at that point. Maybe that helps them out where they won't be as tired.
And remember, and also Denver will be if Oklahoma City let's just say they do lose, let's just say it does go 7. That means Denver will be playing their second series in a row.
Yeah.
in 7 games because they won 7 games with the Clippers.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. So that would probably help them out a little bit more. But I still think it's going 7 either way. I think this is going to be if they don't win Game 4, it goes 7. If they lose Game 4, it's a wrap. I think. It's
Wait, what?
If Oklahoma City goes down 3-1, I think it's a wrap.
Okay, yeah, so I agree.
But if it's 2-2, it's going 7. Oklahoma City, I think, can then
Gotcha.
pull it off.
Okay. Quick thoughts on Steph, and he's out.
If he's really out this next week, which would be like 3 games, I think.
I think he's out for the series. By the way,
I do too. But if he's out this next week and they still say he can't go, I'm giving it to Minnesota. I'm giving it to Minnesota. I don't think Jimmy and Buddy and Draymond are winning a series against them dudes.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't believe in them.
Is this it for Steph?
It probably is. It probably is. This is another big injury past the age of 35. It's not that he can't perform. It's just your body, dog, is it's not keeping up. So it probably the end for him. It's the bad end because you went out injured. I would much rather you just go out losing. But it's probably it needs to be a wrap for him too here soon.
Now, one guy you did mention is Draymond Green.
Yep.
Draymond Green went off because he said he didn't like the narrative being spewed about him being an angry black man. I'm not an angry black man. I take care of my family, kids, and all the blah 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 blah. Because I sent you that video.
Yep.
What did you think when I sent you that?
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog?
Mm-hmm.
You are the angry. When it comes to basketball, you're the angry black man, dog. You kicked LeBron in the nuts. You stomped Sabonis in the chest. You choked out Rudy Gobert. That's who you are when it comes to basketball.
Backwards punch Nurkic.
Yeah. Like, you got a rap sheet that's pretty decent in terms of infractions in the NBA. That is who you are when it comes to basketball. So they're trying to take it outside of that and say, oh, that's like, no, I don't care. I don't know anything about your family life or anything like that. In basketball, you're the angry black man. Shut up.
Or you have to play very recklessly and irresponsible on the basketball court, and you just happen to be black.
Yeah.
Those, you know what I'm saying?
You got a rap sheet.
You just happen to be black. Don't try to combine the two.
Yeah.
You know, take some, and that's my problem with Draymond Green. The lack of accountability is insane.
Lethal with him. It's lethal with him.
It's insane. It's okay to go. I'd rather Draymond go, you know what? I play hard. I play reckless. Sometimes it works in my team's favor. Obviously, because we got 4 championships. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't work sometimes it works against us. Obviously, the 2016 series against the Cavs.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's just kind of how it is with me.
Yeah.
You sort of like Russell Westbrook at that press conference.
Yeah.
What did Russ say?
That's how I play.
Russ said, hey, sometimes it's this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's that.
He's self-aware.
He ain't hella self-aware. Yeah. That's probably the most self-aware thing I've ever heard Russ say. Yeah. He said, hey, it's kind of what happens with me. Y'all know this.
Yeah.
Yo, nigga, we know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he right.
Yeah. Like, bro, Draymond, like, I'd rather you be like, hey, man, this is how I got here.
Yeah.
I'm not in the league if I don't play this way. Yeah. Y'all may not like it. Hell, I know Steve Kerr sometimes don't like it. But this is how I have to play to survive being in the league.
This is how I made it as far as I did. And you either like it or you don't.
Right.
It's fair. Right? Because I think the bad boy Pistons were not self-aware, but they kind of understood it. Like, yeah, we are the villains. And but we won a chip. So that's two. We won 2.
And went to 3 finals.
That's how we do it. If you don't like it, too bad. Detroit loves it.
Right.
And keep it pushing. Right.
And so to me, it's like I would rather him come out and just be that than the whole like the victimhood.
I don't like he threw the race card out there like that too. That was my other big problem.
Yeah, that was super irresponsible.
It's not because you're black, dog. It's not.
Right. You just happen to be black.
You just happen to be black. We would say this about any player who plays like you.
Right.
You just happen to be one of the few players who play like you. That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're a unique specimen, dog. I hated that.
That bothered me because I like Draymond.
I do, yeah.
But I just thought that to me this is an opportunity for him to, especially this series right now. Like your team really needs you.
Yeah, you're gonna need to be the way you are.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But with Steph out, you also can't be too reckless.
Exactly.
Your team really needs you on the court. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just thought that was lame on his part. It's like, and for a guy that does a lot of talking,
yeah.
Sometimes, bro, you need to just I don't want to hear you every time, bro.
Yeah.
Like this is one of the times where shut up.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Like you didn't say anything that was intelligent.
No.
You just made yourself sound like again like this is the first time he felt like normally Draymond's the aggressor.
Yeah.
Normally he's kind of like stubborn and I'm gonna do what I do. This is the first time it felt like he wanted like he was trying to spin a narrative. Yeah. Ironically, he talking about a narrative being spit on him. It felt like he was trying to spin one on us.
Yeah.
And again, he played the race card, which is which is to me like, all right, really. Yeah. Which I don't like. I don't like that card being played, especially with the climate we're in.
I don't like it being pulled when it's not true. Yeah. Right. I'm okay with someone saying I think this happened because I'm black. Right. And then actually like and we all see it and like that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. In no way, shape, or form is this a race thing. Right. This is a uniquely you thing, not a race thing.
Mm-hmm. Last thing, I want to talk about Tyrese Halliburton.
All right.
Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers up 2-1 on the Cavs. And, he had a clutch shot to close out game 2. Yep. He was recently, The Athletic did a poll.
Yeah, he was voted the most overrated player
in the league. What do you think is people's in the NBA players? What do you think they beef is with Tyrese Halliburton? First off, do you like him?
I like him.
What do you like about him?
I like his game. It's kind of smooth. Mm-hmm. I like that he's a really good facilitator, so he can set up guys who need help getting set up. That's a very rare skill now for point guards. When in an era where it was a score first point guard, it's nice to see a guard who's able to set up guys who need help getting set up in the offense. And he got a little game to him. He was out there in France. He said, "I know what time it is for me." Mm-hmm. I know I'm not playing basketball, but I know I am getting it.
I know you was going with that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. I'm on Mars too now. I'm with you. Yeah. Right.
I like a guy who's like, you know what? They don't need me out here for this. Yeah. But I know what I am doing. I feel like he'd be a cool guy to like, hey, what you on tonight, Hallie? You on that? All right, cool. Let's go. Okay. Let's go.
I feel yeah.
But I don't know. I don't because I feel like he and Trae Young are in the same position where they are very skilled basketball players, but the other NBA guys don't view them as deserving of a spot with like the big boys. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is because it's like if I'm looking around the league and I need a guard, I want Trae Young, I want him. Right. But guys like he ain't all that. It's like, but it's the teams he's been on. It's not him. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he doesn't have like that cocky swagger that guys like or what, but
I mean he does. Tyrese does.
Tyrese does. So I don't know what. I don't know.
Trae does too.
Yeah, they both do. Yeah. I don't know if that rubs other guys the wrong way or what, but they got what you need to me if you're trying to be a champion. I think they are the guys you want on your team to do that.
I think that poll just shows you how insecure a lot of these dudes in the NBA are because. First of all, Tyrese Halliburton has one of the best personalities to me in the league.
I agree.
When you hear him talk and all that, you can tell that, like, all right, this guy felt like he'd be cool to, like, hang around, be around. Like, there's a reason why he people like interviewing him. He keeps popping up on people's shows because he's a good talk. He's a good guest and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's a reason why Steve Kerr brought him on to Team USA. Yeah. He feels like of all the young players in the league, this is one of the younger players who I feel like I want to have a part of this program or needs to be a part of this going forward. He feel like you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that way come down when it comes out 2028 in LA. Like he's a good guy to kind of lead the rest of this new era of Team USA basketball. And maybe guys didn't like the fact that he got that spot and guys like Jaylen Brown didn't get it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But maybe the fact that he plays for the Pacers. Maybe the fact that he's like I don't know what it is. I don't know what, but like. And it could be that he's a shit talker. Maybe that's what it is.
But who isn't?
Right.
Like that. Like come on. Like y'all all talk shit. So it's because it's the way you don't like the way. Was it Snowfall? You don't like the way another nigga talk.
Right. I don't know, man. And it's funny. I remember that game 2. Yeah. And it's funny because Donovan Mitchell peeped it. Yep. The crowd was they screamed overrated, and Donovan Mitchell was like, hey. He was like this. Yeah. Hey, calm that down now. It's the second quarter.
And he's getting hot.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's just keep him at, because they was up, though.
Yeah, they was up.
And Don Mitchell had a great game, dropped 40. He had a heater. He like, hey, man, look, I ain't got Darius Garland today. Yeah. I ain't got Evan Mobley today. And I ain't got DeAndre Hunter today.
Just be out here, y'all.
I'm cooking right now. Yeah. We got them where we want them. Let's just lull them to sleep. Yep. Let's not wake these niggas up. The crowd kept doing it. Pacers woke up. Halliburton woke up,
Yep.
sent their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Sent their ass home. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm interested to see where that series goes going forward.
Because I do think that overrated thing has that reached him a little bit.
Well, he said that. He
Yeah.
said he was a guy who read and he stopped, but like he was one of those guys who read everything about him,
Yeah.
who saw everything about him, and that got into his head a little bit.
Yeah. But I'm thinking it like if the Pacers take this like the distance, that will be the moment where I think that changes Halliburton from then on out, where he's like, all right, cool. I see how y'all view me. I gotta change that. And if that happens,
Or the opposite. Fuck y'all.
well, no, true.
How about that?
True.
Because I'm overrated.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Bet. Now let bet.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Overrated.
I hope he does. I hope he goes out there and puts it on some niggas' heads. It's like, okay, I don't know who, but I bet it was you. You getting it tonight.
Yeah. Yo, man, that's all the time we have for you guys today, man. You can follow me at Facebook at Bryce Olden. You can follow me on Instagram at Bryce David Olden. Bryce, go and tell him.
From Twitter, Bruce Leroy.
And remember, you're here from the horse's mouth to let ass who told you we out. Peace.